The working group determined that 2 of the 5 land use controls could apply: land use planning and lighting. The city's North Sector Plan was adopted in 2010 and identifies land use within the city's ETJ. Any land use planning that we're able to enforce would require collaboration with Bexar County. We currently have an interlocal agreement with the county, so any possible amendments would need to be jointly considered. In regards to lighting, City Council just approved the military lighting overlay district last week, and Bexar County is currently going through their court order approval process, which should be completed sometime next month. In regards to the area around Lackland, the working group identified 2 land use controls in addition to land use planning and lighting. With noise, the city currently has a military sound attenuation overlay, or an MSAO, which is a zoning district. As we cannot impose zoning in the county, we could adopt an ordinance creating a zone with sound standards equivalent to the MSAO. Similarly with height, the Airport Hazard Overlay District is a zoning district, so the city would need to adopt an ordinance creating a zone with equivalent height standards to the Airport Hazard Overlay District. Today, staff is seeking council direction in order to proceed. First, does council wish to move forward with an election? And second, if so, which areas would council opt to focus on? The information presented does show that there are financial implications to annexing the areas. However, in light of the need to protect the military installations and the available option provided to municipalities by the state that we can enforce land use controls if a vote fails, we wanted to provide you with this information to make an informed decision, given the financial, military, and legislative components. If council opts to move forward, this slide outlines the proposed annexation election schedule in order to have the ballot on the November 6th election. The last possible day for council to call the election is August 2nd, which is your first A-session meeting in August. If council approves a resolution on August 2nd, the months of September and October would be spent preparing election material and notifications prior to the November 6th election. Based on the working group's discussion, that being city staff and Joint Base San Antonio representatives, if council chooses to call the election, an area of priority would be the area west of the Lackland Air Force Base Annex, given the amount of vacant land. The amount of vacant land in the 3 options ranges from 45 to 59%. Also, in regards to the land use controls reviewed, and which are applicable to the bases, there is a greater ability to impose land use controls in the Lackland area. This concludes my presentation. Members of the working group are all here this afternoon to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much for the presentation, Bridget. Has the Office of Military Affairs reviewed the recommendations?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mayor, Council. Yes, we have. We reviewed the recommendations. And as Bridget was stating, my concern or our concern is to protect the military mission. And I think the option that she presented will do that with the priority being on Lackland Air Force Base. I think a lot of Bullis and the area surrounding Camp Bullis is already developed. And we've already got agreements in place with not only the local businesses around there, but also the MLOD, the lighting ordinance that came into view. My concern and the military's concern, and correct me if I'm wrong, Craig, is night vision training, which is most important. Aviation missions are not that frequent, especially at Camp Bullis. So for us, it's Lackland, the Lackland Air Force Base area. I think we've done a good job. The city's done a good job in the past of protecting the military mission at Bullis. I asked specifically when we were doing this, for Joint Base San Antonio, what's going to protect our missions so we will not lose any missions we already have, and how do we protect our installations to be able to absorb more missions? So Lackland, to answer your question. Craig, do you have any comments? No. Sir, Craig Carpenter. Yeah, Craig, come here. Come up, please. Craig Carpenter is JBSA's, one of their attorneys.
I'm Craig Carpenter. I'm the senior civilian attorney at Joint Base San Antonio. You guys probably consider me a dirt lawyer, so I handle all the real property matters, all the environmental matters, which also includes all the encroachment and compatible land use matters. So I handle the legal side of all that for MEG and then for our civil engineering group as well. We've been working cooperatively with the city staff ever since January and before regular meetings. And that briefing accurately summarizes, our inputs and injects into that discussion that we had there. Quite frankly, around Camp Bullis, the city's does an excellent job already supporting the military missions at all of our locations. At Camp Bullis specifically, with the tools the state has provided you've done everything you can with those tools pretty much to the extent you can. What we have left are the fragmented areas where there are areas of where maybe 10% of we have two issues. We have the issue with the too many birds coming on our posts and too much light coming on our posts. So that's what we focus on. With regard to the birds, we're protected as well as we can pretty much with that. With all the things the city has done to support us, we could go into a lot of detail on that, but it's a great deal of support and it's really good. And Mr. Ayala just explained the lighting overlay district, so we're good there. The best ability to affect the future land use is down around the Lackland area.
Okay, thank you, Craig.